sewing friends, Me Made May is coming to a close. So I started off this month with quite a few goals, and so I thought I would talk through just how I feel like I did with them, what I learned, because that is always my favorite part of Me Made May. And then I've got some refashion projects that I worked on, as well as a couple of new makes. So this is probably going to be on the longer side. If you want to skip around, I'm going to put in some chapter markers so you can just kind of skip through to what you want to see. So as you probably know by now, Me Made May is a sewing challenge all about working on your relationship with your own self-made clothing. Or probably accessories also, but yeah, it's not just for sewing, but also knitting and other crafts as well. Just kind of getting to improve that relationship. So the goals are very personal. You can decide that for yourself. I had set 4 for me, which was kind of a lot, but I learned a lot. So the first one was to try to get more creative about the outfits that I was wearing every day. So I was definitely in a jeans and t-shirt rut, which I love jeans, I love a t-shirt, but it was kind of the only thing I was wearing. So I wanted to play a bit more around with the wardrobe that I have. And then second goal was to document how I feel about that. And so kind of evaluate the look, the feel, the comfort, and any thoughts that I happen to have about what I was wearing. So that was goal 1 and 2 around what I was wearing. Then goal number 3 was to try to get a little bit more connected with the sewing community on Instagram. And my 4th was to revisit some past me mades that needed some love and attention. So I wanted to share a bit about what I learned about myself through this process and making those goals. So goals 1 and 2, again, were around how I was getting dressed every day and how I was feeling about what I was wearing every day. So I kind of set the guideline for myself that I was not going to pair jeans and t-shirts together for the month. There's nothing wrong with jeans and t-shirts. I had just found that I'd had this narrative in my mind that was saying the only thing that is comfortable and the only thing that is appropriate for my daily life was jeans and t-shirts together. And it was very I was finding that it was kind of like a strict outfit formula. And so I wanted to kind of poke that and be why is that? Especially the comfort thing, because I've worked really hard in my sewing practice over the last couple of years to really prioritize comfort in everything that I make, and not just in what I make, actually, also in anything that I buy, or if it's in my closet, it needs to be comfortable. It can't be restrictive. That is something I'm really proud of myself for, in that I really see it as a self-care thing, that I'm really honoring my sensitivity. So I have both ADHD and fibromyalgia. So my brain and body are very aware of all sensations, but definitely things like touching my skin or restricting movement are things that can just ruin my day. And they're things that I'm really glad I made the decision to not tolerate that anymore. Cause yeah, it's stuff that sometimes I could handle it if I was having a good day, but not if I was having a hard day. And I just don't need to do that. It was taking up a lot of energy to decide if I was doing okay to wear a certain fabric or that kind of thing. And I just don't need that in my life. So I've done a really good job the last couple of years. If it hangs in my closet, it's wearable, as in it is comfortable for me. So this idea that only jeans and t-shirts, only t-shirts are comfortable, just wasn't true for me anymore. And it was really good that I was challenging that with this guideline of no jeans and t-shirts together, because it made me especially reach for my blouses, which is something that in my mind I was no, that's a special occasion thing. I'll wear that like if I'm doing something nice, which then I wouldn't because then I'd reach for a dress anyway. So my blouses were not getting worn. Skirts kind of in a similar category. So at the beginning of the month, it was pretty, I kind of had to like work to tell myself like, no, just wear the blouse. It's fine. And now at the end of the month, I'm just like reaching for all my blouses. I'm having a lot more fun, like pairing things with skirts. So I did wear like t-shirt with skirt and blouse with jeans or sweater with jeans, like that kind of thing. But it was really helpful for me to break out of that jeans and t-shirt rut. So I wanted to share a couple of things that I was reaching for a lot in the second half. So in my last video, I did like a few outfits that I really liked from the first half of Me Made May. And then these are a couple things from the last couple of weeks that I've been reaching for quite a bit. So this is the Friday Pattern Company square neck top. And it's really just a t-shirt, but this one is made in a woven, so it feels a bit more blousey. Now, when I made this back in March, I was just very annoyed at the whole situation because the pattern description says that it is a loose fitting but not oversized top, and it was definitely oversized on me. I've just learned that in Friday Pattern Company, I just need to size down and then adjust the bust if I need to. But yeah, it seems like my size as listed with measurements is not it. So I took the whole thing apart and cut it down and put it back together. And now that it's warmer, I'm just like reaching for this so much. I really love it paired with a denim skirt. I love it with my flare jeans. The only thing I'm not super big on is the color. So I found that black is just like a little bit, I think black looks good on me. I think black is a good color for me, but I don't really like how I feel in it. It just like feels too stark, even if it like looks nice. Yeah. So I went from thinking I would never make this pattern again to looking at my pattern or my fabric stash and being like, ooh, that's a square neck top and that one and that one and that one. So I definitely want to make more of these for the summer. Yeah, I've been reaching for this a ton. The other one is also a Friday Pattern Company. This is the Patina blouse. I made this last month and I've been reaching for it like every week. I love this like laid back. It kind of reminds me of like the vacation dad trend, but I think with the like V-neck and the Chelsea collar, it's a little bit more feminine still. The shoulders are pretty dropped on me. I think they're supposed to fit more on the shoulder, but on me they're a little bit, I could narrow the shoulder. That's the point. I did do a broad back adjustment on this one, which turned out really nice. And yeah, I definitely want some more of these, maybe in some fun prints. But yeah, I really love this one. I learned that a couple of the things that I had in my wardrobe like just really don't fit me anymore. I was really hopeful with my size change that things were like still okay. But having like taken the time to think about it when I put stuff on in the morning, I'm like, nope, this really doesn't work. And I felt really like frumpy or just like not fully present. And that's the thing that I know for myself about my clothes is that they do really impact how I feel. So sadly, I need to tuck some things away and get them out of my closet because it's not nice to get dressed and like feel like you're ready for the day and then like catch glimpses of yourself throughout the day being like, oh, that really like isn't how I want to be showing up. Yeah, just with things like not fitting. So I definitely have a list of things that I want to replace in my wardrobe, some things that I want to add to. So definitely lots of good information. So my third goal was around Instagram. I explained in my initial Me Made May plans, goals video of how impactful the Instagram sewing community was to me when I first started. And since then it has changed a lot, but and I've kind of like taken a step back. but it's been fun to kind of dip my toes in again. So I did try to be a bit more active on there this month. I did make a couple of reels and was trying to post a little bit more to my stories. So I feel pretty okay about that. I still have lots of content ideas and none of the time to go through with them. But this is kind of like adjacent. I did get, of the like 5 weekends in May, I got to spend 2 of them with sewing friends that I met through Instagram. So that was super special. And again, just reminded me of like how grateful I am for the online sewing community. Okay, goal number 4 was all about refashioning. So I set myself 10 projects to refashion. So I made it through 5 at the beginning of the month. So those are in my halftime report video, and then these are the remaining 5. So, okay, there's some fails in here. We'll start with this one. This one is actually fine. So I had a pair of Riley overalls from True Bias that I had made last fall, and they were pink. And I wasn't wearing them as like everyday clothes because I didn't really like the way they fit. The waist was just like not where I wanted it to be, so I was having to wear them like really low, and it wasn't, yeah. So I wanted them to be just like actual overalls for yard work and housework, but I thought that the pink was a little too light, so I thought I would just dye them. Well, it was kind of a disaster. I learned that I have an eco setting on my wash machine that cannot be fixed, and that really doesn't work with the washing machine like pod dyes. So I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. And the goal again was to just have them be darker so that I could do like yard work and housework in them. So I've accomplished that, but the dye is like so splotchy. It looks really terrible. And I was like, well, maybe I should just do it again. But I realize it's going to be the same process. I don't think I can get an even dye in this wash machine with this kind of dye. So I don't know if I'm going to keep experimenting because, again, it accomplished what I needed them to do. They are darker. They're just going to be around the house, around the yard, overalls, so it's fine. But in this load, I thought I would also overdye my seam work Wallis dress that I was going to take off the bodice and then just have it be a skirt because it is a romper dress. So it's like a jumpsuit. It's got the bike shorts like built in with a skirt over it, and you pull it on over your shoulders. Well, the dye job just like totally ruined it. So I ended up only being able to salvage the little shorts, and these aren't great either. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see it, but they're just so splotchy, and it looks like a tie-dye experiment went wrong and like not in a cool way. But I wear bike shorts like these under skirts and dresses like all summer long. So I was like, well, if it's going to be under clothing anyway, at least I can salvage the shorts. I also tried to make a sports bra out of the remaining like skirt fabric. That also went really wrong. I don't have it up here to show you, but I made a really silly mistake, and it is not wearable at all. So this was the Wallis dress, is now just like a little pair of shorts that I will definitely wear. So is it a win? I'm not sure, but I got some bike shorts. Okay, the next 2 were a Reynolds dress. It had a maxi version of the Helen's Closet Reynolds dress, and it's in this fabric, and the pattern in the fabric were just like not making sense because this is a very, very heavy linen, and I was like, there's just no. So it was warm but cold at the same time because like I was bare shoulders, but then this really heavy long skirt. So I was not wearing that like at all. So I ended up unpicking almost everything to get the pockets out. And I ended up chopping it off and making a little Reynolds top. And it's not as nice as if you just made the Reynolds top from the pattern piece because it had really like started flaring out already. So I tried to bring it in. I think I did an okay job. To be honest, I'm not quite sure how much I'll wear this little tank top, but probably still more than I was wearing the dress. So I think that's still a win. But the bigger win is that I was able to like just squeeze out a toile of the Dani shorts from True Bias. I didn't have enough to make the waistband all the way, so I used a different fabric for the inner waistband. I like had to split it up. It's one that you just fold over. I had to split it up, piece it in two, actually piece it in like four. But now I have this cute little butterfly waistband, and I think it's really cute. I also put in a Kylie in the Machine label that says, woohoo! So that is super fun. And I really like these. I'm glad that I toiled them because I learned that they look great. Standing up, I think that the fit is doing what it's supposed to do. But I did learn that wide leg shorts are not for me. So I have the problem that when I walk, my thighs touch, and if there's shorts where that touch line is, they just go like right up my crotch into this terrible little bundle where I look like I'm wearing a weird diaper, and then I lose all the coverage that I want around my thighs. I get like this baggy, lumpy situation. And if you know of a surefire fix for that, if there's something that I'm missing, definitely let me know. But it does seem to just be like the physics of where my thighs touch, and like if there's fabric, it's gonna do that. But I still really like them, and even more so, I'm really glad that I learned that lesson from this fabric and not from something like really special. So that was Reynolds dress number 2. And then my last refashion is one I'm actually not quite done yet. I ran out of thread and I needed to let it hang, but it is this skirt. And it is one that I made pretty early on in my sewing journey, and oh my goodness, what a mess. It was really pretty fun to unpick this, and well, it was fun to see like all of the weird choices that I made. It was not fun in that I used like top stitching thread to sew this soft viscose, so it just kept like breaking and yeah, created more holes. So I had to trim the whole thing down, which was counterintuitive to my goal of making it bigger, but I did end up with a bigger skirt. I even elasticated it, so I made it so that the hips were just wide enough to get on over. So it's not very elastic, as you can see. It's not like really cinching it in. It just like barely goes over my hips, sits nicely on my waist, and I really like it. The only thing is I just didn't have enough fabric, and this is looking pretty lumpy because I used a like heavyweight interfacing for this light viscose waistband. So yeah, I've learned since then, and yeah, we all start as beginners and we do silly things and then we learn from those things. So yeah, if you're a beginner and you would like to learn from me, don't use heavyweight interfacing on light fabrics. Always match your interfacing weight to your fabric weight. So it's coming along. I do need to hem it still, and I want to either top stitch this waistband to make it a little less chunky, or possibly add some belt loops so that I can just cover up this kind of like wonky elastic with a belt. So that's my plan for finishing off this one, but I put it on and I just felt like so fun and so cute because I really love these colors and the print. It just makes me so happy. So this is definitely a win, even if some of these other ones were kind of like. So I spent most of the month primarily focused on those refashions, but I did eke out a couple of new makes. So I thought I would chat about those. So this one I'm not going to spend too much time on because I have a whole pattern review coming out. This is the Tilly and the Buttons Mabel dress in a viscose twill. So I am going to be comparing the construction, the fit, the instructions, like the whole sewing process of the Mabel dress to the Seamwork Meg dress. So I have a video about that, comparing the two patterns. I've already sewn this one up, and then I'm going to be working on the Meg, and I'll come back, share them two together. Yeah, so that's this one. I love this color though. I think it turned out really nice. Yeah, that's all I'll say for now. I do have a lot to say about it, but it turned out really nice, and I have enjoyed wearing it. This one is the Helmi blouse from Forget Me Not, and this is my second one. The first one I had made in a viscose, and it was a little on the big side, so I sized down, but this is a cotton poplin, so the fit is really different, and I had to work and let some seams out because I just didn't take into account that my viscose in the bigger size, like it had a lot more give, and this cotton poplin has no give, none at all. So it took a while, but I did achieve a pretty good fit, and I do really like the color. It's super cute. So I shortened the sleeve to have more of like a summery vibe. So I really like that one. That was a win. This is a win. And then I'll tell you about this one. I am so proud of myself for making a toile. Like, usually I'll try to do like a wearable toile, and I had the Closet Cord Jenny short overalls on my list from the Design Your Wardrobe course that I did in April, that I was like kind of planning my spring and summer makes. And the Jennies were on there, but I just like wasn't quite sure how I was going to feel about them. So instead of going through the process, doing all of the top stitching and all of the like intricate details, I decided to do a really like quick and dirty. I didn't even cut the whole pattern. Like, I only cut the bib, the waistband, and the shorts. And y'all, I'm so glad that I just did that because I put these on and I was like, I hate this. This is terrible. And it wasn't just that it like didn't fit me right out of the package. I didn't expect that. I know what I would need to do to make this fit my body is definitely in the styling that is just not for me. I have yet to find a pair of shorts that I like really like the look of on me. My body's not the problem. My body is my body. That's fine. I just haven't found the right shape of a garment for shorts for something fitted. So like the loose shorts, the Dani's that I made, I think they're super cute. They have their other problems. But yeah, this one, it just like was not the style for me. And I'm so glad that I did not spend hours of meticulous top stitching and all of the like really cute details that are in the Jenny pattern. Really glad I didn't spend any time on that. I'm usually like a wearable toile or like just jump in and go for it kind of person, but I actually decided to take my time, or rather save myself time, by making a legitimate toile and deciding like, I don't want that. That's not for me. So I do think I will like the long, like wide leg version of the overalls, just not the shorts. So I am going to keep this one in my like sewing storage so that I can come back to it maybe in the fall and make the adjustments that I think I need to do. I need to lengthen the rise in the front. The back seemed fine, but the front rise was definitely too short. So that's a pretty good adjustment to make for that, as well as maybe widening the bib. Now I know that Closet Core is planning on releasing the Jenny in their 14 to 30 or 32, in their improved size range. I know it's one of their goals to do this year. So that might be different also. So I might need to try it again when that comes out. But again, the shorts view, it's not for me. So that is what I've been up to this month for Me Made May. I had so much fun. Yeah, just being a part of it. I've loved watching everybody else's like outfits and stuff. Anything. It's not a photo challenge. Like Zoe, the creator of Me Made May, is like very clear about that. But I've also really enjoyed the people that did share on YouTube and on Instagram. It's so inspiring. I definitely like feel a certain, like, I feel like sewing community inspiration is like a huge step above anything like ready to wear inspiration or anything like that. I really love the sewing community and seeing how people sew for themselves, make for themselves, and then wear it out in the world. So I've really enjoyed like that aspect of Me Made May. Again, I learned a lot from my own goals and for how I chose to participate. So yeah, I really hope that you've had a good Me Made May. I am looking forward to kind of easing back into my regular like sewing routine. In April, I did some sewing challenges, also around like making for other people. And then this month was largely focused on refashioning. So I'm excited to kind of just like get back into my regular groove. As much as I love, like, I really do love sewing community challenges. And I think they're really fun ways to engage and to get to know other folks. But it can also be a lot. So I had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to just kind of sit back and yeah, do my own thing for a little bit. But yeah, I really enjoyed Me Made May, and I hope you did too. As always, let me know what you are up to, if you participated or just sat this one out, what you made in May, all of that stuff. You can comment below. You can find me on Instagram. I always love to hear from you guys. That is everything. So until next time, happy making. Bye.